Jagex just released one of the best updates of the year with an expansion to the Thieving skill, increasing level cap to 120 and adding a lot of really interesting training methods. Let's break them all down. The main piece of content that was added with this update is Heists, which are a brand new thieving activity where you run around a vault-like area and loot chests without being caught. Some have compared this to old school RuneScape's Hallowed Sepulchre for agility, and you can really see why with a vault like the one on Anachronia, where you have a course of just cannons shooting fireballs and you have to somehow walk through that without being hit. So it's actually a ton of fun, and let's show you the two heists. So the first heist is the Vault of Hereditas. It is located in Hereditas, and it does require level 95 thieving to enter the vault, but you will need up to level 102 thieving to actually access all the chests. Now this is something that Jagex is aware that it maybe doesn't feel great that you can access the vault, but not all of the chests inside, so it is possible that this gets changed, but for right now you need 95 to 102 thieving. The heist is very fun. You're basically just going through 3 separate areas and you have to loot certain chests to move on to the next one. You accumulate loot after every chest or safe that you open, and if you are spotted by one of the guards, you end up losing some loot and respawn at a checkpoint. So there isn't really very much pressure for this first heist, but the next one, there is much more pressure. The rewards from the heist are also very good. You can get the Gloomfire bow, a new tier 90 bow, which seems to be a pretty good weapon to put in an EOF, basically just an upgraded dark bow spec. There's also the Legatus Ember Staff, another tier 90 weapon for magic with a pretty good spec, again probably for an EOF. And then there is the Death Mask. This is actually really cool. You can add it to the crown of the first Necromancer. It doesn't give it any extra stats or anything, but it now counts for 2 pieces towards the robes of the first Necromancer set effect, so you can have the full effect and not wear the gloves, for example, and instead wear Cinderbanes. So small little buff to Necromancy, but a pretty cool way to do it. The heists I did take quite a while, around 10 to 15 minutes, although it was my first few times doing it, so you could definitely do it faster. And you get around 200, I think 220k is the most you can get from this heist. They did actually just increase the XP rates today, which is included in that calculation. So it depends on how fast you can do these heists, but they're probably not going to be better than pickpocketing. And it's too bad, you know, it is a very click intensive and active method. It's pretty fun. So I would like to see the XP rates even a bit higher than they currently are. But still, it's not bad. Maybe you can complete a run in 6 minutes, maybe. Then it would be about 2 million XP per hour, which is pretty good. Nothing really wrong with the common loot. It has a few herbs and seeds, some of which can be kind of difficult to get before this update. So pretty good for Iron Men, and you know, some decent loot. I guess you're really going for the rare loot if you're trying to make money from this heist. The second heist is where it gets really intense, and that is the Asuran Arsenal. It is located just behind Lanica in Anachronia, and you do require level 108 thieving to enter the vault. You need 114 thieving to actually do the safes within the vault, so you'll want to get that if you're probably going to go do this vault. That's where you're going to be getting a lot of the loot. This vault is much harder. It's a huge step up. If you get hit by one of those fireballs, as you can see, you'll get hit about a 4 to 5k. So you can't take too many of them. You'll need to bring food into this vault with you and just enjoy it. It is actually fun learning it. The loot from this vault is a little bit different. So you can get the Varanus Mercy, which is a tier 90 melee weapon. And again, it is more of an EOF type weapon. It's an upgraded version of the Dragon Claws spec. Overall, the ability does do a little bit less ability damage than the D-Claw spec, but it does have that chance to hit a crit, which would overall make it a little bit better than the D-Claws, and the adrenaline cost is the exact same. The other rare drop from this vault is the Nod-On Spike Harness, which is a pretty clear buff to melee. It increases the damage of armor spikes by 65% of your melee power armor damage. And this is further increased if your life points are below 60% of your max. There have also been many new NPCs to pickpocket, a few being some NPCs in the Wizard's Tower. So at level 64, you can pickpocket the Wizard's Tower Mage for a few runes, some Chaos, Nature, and Law runes. And then at level 106, you can pickpocket these guys, Wizard's Tower Master Mage, for a variety of runes, including time runes. So that is very useful, especially for Iron Man. And you'll see a lot of these new pickpockets are going to be a huge update for Iron Man, because a lot of these things were very difficult to obtain before, and now you can simply just AFK them through pickpocketing. So you can get Cosmic Runes, Soul Runes, Astral Runes, Law Runes, Time, Dust, and Steam Runes here. Another new pickpocket that we have are the Gobi Scavengers. So they're literally just located a little bit west of Beastmaster's entrance. And the cool thing about these is you can start collecting techie this way. And so it will take a while to get enough, but now you don't need to do Beastmaster at all. You can actually just do this for the 25,000 techie cost to buy the Codex. So that is actually a really cool update. Should help a lot of Iron Man accounts. And another option at level 104 is the Menaphos Market Guards. So these guys, they do give you some extra fine sand. So that is one thing you can get. But they give a lot of clues. So actually all kinds of clues, hard, elite, master. So that's a pretty good option to get some clues. They have an option or a possibility to drop Vital Sparks. So that is pretty cool. Potato Cactus, maybe if you're looking for some ingredients. But that's another good pickpocket. And then, of course, my favorite, which I have been doing for the past few days, has been the Archaeology Professor. Now, there are actually 3 different archaeologists you can pickpocket. There is the Archaeology Trainee, which is level 50 Thieving. Then there's just the Archaeologist at level 78 Thieving. And at level 108, you can pickpocket the Archaeology Professor. They all give you different archaeology materials and chronotes, but the Archaeology Professor gives you a lot of Tetracompass pieces, and this might actually be the fastest way to get Tetracompasses now, which is kind of wild. And another new pickpocket are these Tazar Traders. These actually have a rare unique drop, which is called the Jal Tok Yit. It's very rare, and it does create 2 new amulets, the Amhej and the AMZ. Basically, it does give you a little bit better base damage than an EOF, but very slightly, probably not going to actually be worth using. But still pretty cool. Maybe it has some niche scenarios. You can also pickpocket Fairy Traders in Zenaris. Now these actually drop Crimson and Blue Charms among a few Wood Spirits, a few Seeds, and Dragon Longswords. So a few alchables, but you're mainly going to be doing this if you're just looking for an AFK way to get some charms. So pretty cool addition. They did recently nerf this big time today. It was much better on the day of release, but still, it's pretty good. It's kind of cool that you can get charms in an AFK way besides doing AFK combat. And these do require level 113 Thieving. So another option that you can pickpocket are these Virelord Consumers. They do require level 118 Thieving, so very high requirement. And they drop some Blood Runes, some Death Runes, Congealed Blood, some Necrate Stone Spirits, Eternal Magic Wood Spirits, a few alchables, but one of the cooler drops is the Ring of Vitter, which does give you an extra 5% chance to your thieving success rate. So it's actually a pretty cool ring. It's very rare, again, so going to be very hard to get, but a very cool drop as well. There were also some new stalls added and chests added, which you can steal from, and they're not maybe as good XP per hour, but some of them have some unique drop tables. You can now steal from a chest in the Dwarven Mines and get a double ammo mold. So for cannonballs, that is the first time that has been added to the game, which is very exciting. And there are some other pretty cool stalls that you can steal from. Some of them include the Zenaris Market stall, which has stone spirits and wood spirits. There is the Darkmire Magic stall, which drops some soul runes, blood runes, death runes, and some battle staffs for alching. And there's a Darkmire Potion stall, dropping extreme magics, as well as a chest at Raziel's Citadel to drop some necromancy runes and necrotic supplies. Overall, this is a 10 out of 10 update, and I'm really liking the direction Jagex is going with this. We need this for every 110 or 120 skill expansion. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys felt about the update, and if you think it is just as good as I do. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.